We are Quick C 98.3. It is Brian and Trisha, and we'd like to welcome to the studio Hardin County Judge Executive Keith Taul. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. It's good to see you all.
It's good to see you. And you released an editorial last week, and we put that on social media and we put that on our website. And it is talking about something that is a kind of a big topic for people that is on the ballot. And if you have voted already, or if you are going to be doing early voting, or if you're waiting until Election Day on Tuesday, this is something that I feel like people need to be informed about. They may catch them by surprise to see this on the ballot about medical cannabis.
Yes.
So this is something that we're going to kind of talk through and kind of get a better understanding of what it means. Why is it on the ballot?
Right. Yeah, it's basically a new regulation, a new law that was signed in, and it really takes effect January 1st of next year. So coming up on us pretty quick. So there's a lot of preparation, getting ready for that. And basically the state pushed down down into the counties and the cities whether they would decide to opt in or opt out of allowing these establishments in their counties or cities.
And when you say establishment, that is
there's about 4 or 5 different types of establishments. One is the cultivators, the people that are actually growing it. And for those of you that remember, hemp being grown out in fields, this is not going to be that. It'll be in a closed, locked building. And so
for many reasons, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, it's the people that are growing marijuana, basically, it's expensive, and so they will they have to have those conditions, that they want to have the best production and the best quality and all that kind of stuff.
Well, there's a reason distilleries don't just put that in their front yard.
That's correct. Yes. So they'll have cultivators. There will be processors, so they'll be taking the cannabis and making it into the form that will be utilized, and then there'll be dispensaries, and there's also testing facilities. So those 4 types of establishments or companies, doing different things with it. So whenever you opt in, you are allowing all 4 of those to come into your area.
Is there a limit on how many are allowed in a community? Could we have 100 of these, or?
No, there's not going to be very many. Initially, I think I had it I've got the article in front of me. I don't think I have that memorized, but it's 16. Let's see. There's 48 dispensaries in the whole state.
Oh, wow. For 120 counties.
That's correct. 16 cultivators and 10 processors.
So only 16 sites in the whole state will actually be allowed to grow it.
That's correct.
Now, will these be divided up by region, or how does that work? Yeah,
there's I believe, let me find where I have it in here. There's 11 geographic regions that they divided the state up into. And so our particular Lincoln Trail geographic region has 12 counties that are in that. So they'll be divided up into those to some extent. I think there's a lottery process to decide, because there was a whole bunch of people that put in and applied for each one of those categories. And so there's a lottery system. The lottery's already happened for I think it was Monday, for the cultivators and the processors. And so those have already been chosen by lottery. I think I tried to remember to print that out. Here it is. Here I saw that as far as our region, I didn't look these up by region, but let's see. It looks like Bullitt County. It's pretty close. I don't know that they're in our region, but that's, I think, one of the closest counties.
I do think that was the closest, and maybe Owensboro area.
And they were picked for what in the lottery?
This was a cultivator tier 1, which is 2,500 square feet of grow area. There was a Bullitt County Elevated Essence, I think is the name of it. Another cultivator tier 2, which is less than or equal to 10,000 square feet. And it looks like there were 4 of those. One in Warren County, I think, is the only one I recognize that's anywhere close. And Tier 3, which is less than or equal to 25,000 square feet, one of the larger ones, and there were 2 of those, one in Warren County.
And I do want to have you make something clear. After you released your editorial and it was kind of making its way through social media, I believe some people were under the mistaken belief that we are voting to allow marijuana, period, to be in this county or in this region. And that's not really what this is about. This is about the growing, the processing, and the sale of this.
That's correct. It's medical cannabis, medical marijuana. So there's a lot of restrictions. There will be caregivers that will be chosen, that will, that people will need to go, that want to try to get access to this. There were about 7, I think, different conditions, qualifying conditions. That was cancer, post-traumatic stress disorder, multiple sclerosis, chronic pain, epilepsy, chronic nausea, and muscle spasms were the ones that are listed in the regulations.
And we're all feeling our way through this because this is such a new thing for our state, and this will not be recreational use. This won't be just somebody would like to access this medical cannabis just for their own personal use.
That's correct. Yeah. This is just for medical reasons and for those qualifying conditions that I just mentioned. And so there will be a big process to go through. There will be a medical cannabis card that you will have to obtain from a physician. And once you obtain that, then you will be able to go to a dispensary. I didn't see where the lottery has occurred for dispensaries yet, so I'm not sure whether there'll be one in Hardin County or not. I assume there will be. And that's kind of, if I want to get back to the vote itself, okay? So before we run out of time, I had it here, what will actually be on the ballot. Of course, you go on the Hardin County Clerk's website and see a sample ballot. But I'll just read it to you. It's pretty short, really. It says, "Are you in favor of the sale of medicinal cannabis at a licensed dispensary and the operation of other cannabis businesses in Hardin County?"
Now, that is for people who are county residents?
This is all precincts.
Okay.
So everybody in Hardin County, whether you're in a city, incorporated city or not,
okay,
will have that question on the ballot. And so whenever you're saying yes, that means that you are in favor of these establishments being in Hardin County. And so no means that you're against it. So now it's a little confusing because what this really means is unincorporated part of Hardin County, with the exception of maybe Sonora and Upton. Okay, those would also be affected by this vote. Because they haven't done anything specifically for their city, so they kind of fall underneath the county. Now, Elizabethtown and Ratcliffe, they've already voted to opt in, okay? So, but even all those living in Elizabethtown and Ratcliffe will still have this on the ballot, so you'll still have the opportunity to vote whether you think it should be in the unincorporated part. Now, Vine Grove and West Point, they decided to put it on the ballot also. So those folks will have 2 votes. A little bit interesting. So their vote for their specific city will determine what happens in that city. So for Vine Grove folks, if they vote yes, then no matter what the vote is for the county, they will be able to have those establishments if it goes through the lottery and ends up there.
And it's not promised that they will. They're just saying that we would make the allowance for it.
Yeah, right. You're allowing it to happen.
And it's only going to be a certain number in that area because there's only a certain number that can be throughout the state.
There's only 48 dispensaries in the whole state.
Yeah.
So the chances are pretty slim at this point. But you are saying in the future, if there's more dispensaries that are allowed, which could happen, probably will, then you're going to allow that to happen. And you're not just saying dispensaries. Again, you're saying all of those. You're going to allow any of those that may end up in Vine Grove, in this case, in this example. So if you say yes, you're saying, if you say no, then no matter what the county says, there won't be opportunity in the future for for these.
And this is just specifically medical cannabis.
That's correct. All we're talking about here is medical cannabis. Has no recreational use is on the ballot.
And are you aware of the types of? I mean, this is not going to necessarily be smokable marijuana.
No,
I mean, this is for medicinal purposes.
I was trying to find out what the different
there's some confusion
versions.
in that.
I know, and it's not smokable, so I do know that. And I know there was a list of how in different forms that you could purchase it, gummies, and I think some different ways to do that. So I just couldn't find it before we got on the air here. But again, there's all kinds of information at that website.
And what is that website again for people to be able to refer to it?
Yeah, the website is KYMedCan, KYMEDCAN.ky.gov.
Okay. All right. And again, this is for on the ballot for medical cannabis. If you want it or if you are against it, you vote yes or no on the ballot when you vote for this general election. It is for Hardin County, also on there for Vine Grove and West Point. And appreciate you coming in and explaining it and kind of making it a little clearer, because people are, when people hear cannabis, they don't necessarily think of the, that it could be confusing.
Yeah, for sure, and I understand it, and hopefully this was helpful for everyone to, as you walk in, you won't be totally surprised.
Right.
You can at least make an informed decision.
Yes. All right.
And last but not least on this, again, this is not allowing or disallowing it to be present in this county. It's just will we or will we not have places to grow it, process it, and sell it. It's coming. It's here, on the state level, and that's out of our hands now as voters.
It is. I mean, people will be able to get medical cannabis cards, and so if the dispensary's here or if it's county next door, you'll be able to go to it.
All right. Hardin County Judge Executive Keith Taul, thanks for coming in.
Oh, my pleasure.
We are Quixie 98.3.